Welcome to the Reelistic podcast where we discuss all things film and TV. I'm talking trailers, reviews, news, trivia, rankings, upcoming releases, and all that jazz. I am Nathan Hale.
I'm Zoe Philactis.
I am Michael Falk.
And I am Ethan Collingwood.
And welcome to the Reelistic podcast. We are also joined by our fifth member, Mr. Luca Viani, if he's going to come and talk.
Hello, pleasure to be here.
Luca is going to be taking part more so in next week's episode. For now, it's just going to be myself, Michael, Ethan, and Zoe. Luca will join in next week. So, today, we are going to introduce ourselves a little bit, because it's the first episode. And then we also thought a good thing to start the podcast off would be talking about our favourite films that we watched in 2023, our top 5 list, because as of recording, it is January 2024. We thought we'd round off last year and then for the rest of this year talk about everything going on this year. So, does anyone want to introduce themselves first?
Yeah, I will. Hello, I am Zoe, and I am amongst the three other television production students, year 2. Am I starting off with my top 5 films I watched?
Oh, no. We'll get into that in a minute. We're just doing
that's
introductions.
That's all I have to say about myself.
Okay.
Not anymore. Not what you like to do for a living.
Yeah, what you said about yourself.
What you like to do
about other
outside of work.
You say we're television students. Where are we television
Oh, we're at
students?
Bournemouth Uni.
Yay!
Yay! I don't have any hobbies though, so.
This is a hobby.
This, yeah.
This isn't a hobby. This is a career.
Oh, yeah, this is your career,
This is
you know.
my career.
Your university is your
Well,
hobby.
we'll see.
This is the start of something big. Michael?
So I'm Michael Falk. I am also a television production student at Bournemouth University.
There we go.
I did say it. I wasn't going to forget. I enjoy going to the cinema a lot. I am a very loyal Odeon Limitless member. So anything that's in the cinema, I'll go and see. And yeah, what else am I into? I'm into everything, just film, TV, and sometimes a bit of football. But people actually don't know that about me because I never talk about it, apparently.
What team do you support?
I'm an Arsenal fan.
Oh, that's
We've
why.
just lost loads of viewers.
That's why.
Anyway.
Interesting.
Anyone who clicked on just
Our
clicked
one
off.
viewer.
Ethan?
Well, I'm Ethan Collingwood. I'm from Somerset, and I'm basically an honorary TV member because I hang out with all of them, and I'm always in there filming because I'm a great actor.
Yeah, so whenever we're trying to do filming for all of our uni projects, it's quite hard to find contributors, and 9 times out of 10 we'll turn to Ethan, so he's been in a lot of projects over the last year and a half.
But not our one.
Which one?
Well, you know.
The Ghost Stories one, he had exams.
Yeah. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
those
exam
exams.
season. What an excuse.
Yeah.
Vianney, get in there.
Skip 'em.
Wait, does
Come
Ethan
on.
want to say what he does first?
Oh, sorry, what do you do? Yeah, what subject do you do if you don't do TV?
Well, I do business. You know, so I'm going to be rich and famous on the podcast and with the company.
And there go the other half of the viewers. Luca?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm Luca. That's about it. That's everything you need to know. You know,
Who's the
that's
Luca?
everything. Yeah, I'm the Luca. Well, I am a TV student as well. I love everything to do with TV. Really, you know, go and see movies, making stuff. That's my jam. That's what I do. That's about it, really.
Yeah.
And he's a very good producer.
He's a very good producer.
Oh, that's sweet.
Always on time, always getting us to be on time, you know. Remembering to find his SD card.
Luca and Zoe were
All that
half an hour late today, but it's fine. It's the first episode. We'll allow it.
Nathan, do you actually want to introduce yourself?
I can. I am Nathan Hale. I also do TV at Bournemouth University. So yeah, like they said, 4 of us are doing TV. Ethan's doing business. However, we all have a big love for television and film. Also, even though it's a TV course, we do quite a bit of sort of like short film work as well sometimes. So we're all really into it. Me and Michael like to go and watch films together. We go and watch at Odeon because we've got Odeon Limitless. Ethan might be joining us on that bandwagon soon. I also like listening to music. I listen to vinyl records quite a bit. Got about 120 odd.
Very nice
Um,
vinyl player.
Record player.
Record player.
It's been upgraded this year.
Yeah. Anyway, that's me really. Should we get into it?
Yeah.
No.
So we're going to be talking about our top 5 list of the year. Small disclaimer: we are also including films that we discovered this year for 2023. So it won't necessarily just be 2023 releases. It will also include a film that we just watched for the first time in 2023 and absolutely loved. But I think each of us only have maybe 1 or 2 films that are not of 2023. Zoe's laughing, so I'm thinking that may not be the case.
But no.
Probably our whole list.
Okay. So does anyone want to start off with... Should we go around the table and say our 5th, and then we'll work our way up to be what our
Mine's in
favourite
no specific
is?
order.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah, not all
Right,
of us
okay, I'll
like.
put it in an order.
Should we go last? You'll quickly rank it. I'll talk about my 5th.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about why it was why we've ranked it that way as well, just a little bit. But yeah, this is just gonna be a bit of a shorter episode just to get into things. But Michael, if you want to start us off with your number 5, go right ahead.
My number 5 may be a film not many people have seen, or people have seen, because I went to see it with my friend Joe. We thought it was a really good film. It's called Dumb Money, if you guys have seen it.
I haven't seen it. I've heard of it.
You see it?
Oh.
So it's casts Paul Dano, and it's about this guy who buys shares in GameStop, the gaming shop in America.
Yep.
And it's all about how the rich stay richer and the poor stay poor. And yeah, I really enjoyed the film. It's got really good. It's a really good narrative, pretty good cinematography actually. Amazing cast. I think it's got like America Ferrera in it. Obviously Paul Dano. Seth Rogen's one of the rich people.
Right.
And yeah, I really enjoyed it because of just everything, like just the whole story about it.
Yeah.
Like, if you haven't watched it, I would definitely recommend you watch it. But yeah, that's my
Sounds
number
good.
5.
Nice.
Wasn't-
Just a quick question before we move on. Speaking of Seth Rogen, does anyone have the Super Mario Bros. Movie in their ranking?
I would
Absolutely
say,
not.
Was that released this year?
That was this
Absolutely
year, where it
not.
was Donkey Kong.
Superman.
it's actually at my 6th.
I would put it 6th as well.
Bro, I forgot about that. I'm so bad with movies, like remembering that they came out, when they came out, names of movies,
Yeah.
just all that jazz.
Luca, from the Void, did you where would you put Super Mario Bros?
I would say if I had
14.
if I had to rank all of the 2023 movies, I reckon it would be right in the middle of that pile because it was a great movie. It was a great adaptation, to be fair, but judging it as like a movie on its own, I think it had, I don't know, a bit of a weak story. I don't think there was much in the way of revolutionary storytelling, but I don't think you go into that kind of movie expecting that. So I'd reckon it's a good movie. It was worth the money to watch it.
I mean,
That's fair.
they
Well-
shafted Luigi.
They did, yeah.
Like, poor guy. Like,
I think they
Oh,
got
he'll-
the
No
perfect
screen
actor
time.
as well.
It's supposed to be the Mario Bros.
He'll
The
get
whole
his own
time-
spin-off.
yeah, the whole
he'll get
time
his
he was
own
on the screen, he
series,
was
yeah.
either in a cage, being bullied or beaten by something. And the only good scene is when he like came out of nowhere and just protected his brother for like 2 seconds, and his brother then still came in one day.
No, he beat up Bowser as well.
yeah,
Spoiler alert.
but like for like one scene though.
I'm just waiting on the Luigi's Mansion movie.
Yeah, there will
Oh
be
my
there
God,
will
I'm
be a
so
Luigi's Man. That was pretty heavily teased, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie Day is perfect as Luigi though.
Yeah. I
It
don't
was,
reckon
yeah.
that Nintendo will leave their IP alone at this point after how successful it was.
No, absolutely not.
I
Right.
mean, you got whole 2-3 generations of people that
Exactly.
grew up with Nintendo and Mario.
Right. Do you want to tell us your
Fifth.
5th?
Yeah,
Ethan?
so like I said, I got very limiting memory of what was released this year, just because I'm
Yeah.
bad, poor memory. So I'm gonna just say a movie that I didn't think was as good as it should have been. Indiana Jones. Felt kind of let down by it. It felt the comedy kind of forced. It didn't
Okay.
flow as well as the old movies. It's like they tried to go back to some of
It's
the
the
old
last
style,
one,
but-
isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
the
Do you
final
feel
one.
it was a worthy send off or?
I feel
Thing
like
is,
it could have been better.
I was actually got the wrong point. I thought he was gonna say. I actually thought I was gonna say. I saw a thing about Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise saying he wants to go till 80, and I thought like, oh, I think Harrison Ford wants to go till later. But no, that was just me thinking about Mission Impossible.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
that Tom Cruise wants to go on for a very long time in that film series.
As he should. They're good films.
They are really good
What,
films.
Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
Yeah, you didn't watch this one, did you?
I haven't watched Dead Reckoning yet. No.
You haven't watched a lot of things,
It
mate.
is the only one that I haven't watched yet. But yeah, tell us. So your fifth film is indie.
Yeah, Indy.
You don't think it was?
I was just a bit let down by
great.
it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the watch, but it just they could have spent probably a bit more time on sort of the story and the flow of the movie.
That's fair.
I don't.
Pacing was off.
Yeah, something just felt wrong about it.
That first scene was great though.
Fair enough.
Oh yeah, I quite like that. That was like bringing back some of the old indie a little bit.
Reminiscing. Do you want to go with your fifth, or should I, Zoe?
Yeah, but I have to explain myself
Yeah.
first.
Oh, okay. No, you do want to get never mind.
I will go.
Should we just skip
Okay, let me explain myself because I'm gonna get attacked for my number 5th film. Have you just seen it?
We'll give her a minute. We'll give her a
This
minute
is-
before we.
this is a
tell
film.
you.
I feel like I'm a teacher about to get given an award. This is a film that I think it's just based on personal interest, and I wasn't too excited about. I wasn't excited about going to see it. Anyway, this is very long. My number 5th film would be Oppenheimer. But if you think about it, a lot of films came out this year, so for it to be in a top 5 isn't bad.
Yeah.
A lot of films
I'll
come
just
out
say
every
top
year.
5, I think, is a fair assessment. I mean, given how many movies there
Yeah.
were, I think that's fair enough. At least it's not in like the top 10. I think 5.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Out of all of the movies.
because I feel like we're doing 1 to 5 as a very big, like, this is it.
Okay.
But like for it to be in my top 5, I did fall asleep during it, and I was really nervous of the loud sound of the bomb at the end.
Is this because you've only seen 5 movies, or like?
No, I've watched at least like 30 films this year, but none of them really came out in 2023. A lot of them were like previous.
Fell asleep and was worried about the loud bang.
Yeah.
Those are two very different things as well. Like you would think you'd be on the edge of
I
your
think
seat.
I
waiting
tired
for the
myself
bang.
out by like sitting there stressing about it. I
The
just
adrenaline
passed
went
out
away
at
and
the end
then
of
just
the cinema.
nap time.
Yeah, but it was very good, and we went to see it. It finished at like midnight,
Yeah,
so
but you liked it.
yeah.
Did any of you go and see Oppenheimer a second time?
No.
I
Okay.
haven't even seen it first time.
Yeah, okay, so I went, me and Luca both went and saw it a second time, and I think my first viewing I found my most enjoyable in terms of seeing stuff for the first time, but I definitely understood the film a second time around more. Would you agree?
So I had it as my top 5th movie after I first watched it, because I think the movie is very difficult to understand, and I think I got a little bit caught up trying to understand it.
Yeah, that's
But
fair.
on a second viewing, I enjoyed it so much more because I did actually understand what was going on, and I think there's a real dialogue problem in all of Nolan's movies, but this one I think especially because it's so confusing. But I think it moved up to my top, to my like second favorite movie I think of the year once I'd watched it again.
Spoilers for Luca's list. We now know this is number 2.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, seeing Oppenheimer for a second time is very
Necessary.
beneficial. Yeah,
Yeah.
for
I mean,
fully understanding it. I think my first viewing was still my most enjoyable though, because I'm one of them people who, when I see a film for the first time, like just seeing it for the first time is what excites me more. Like I've seen most films this year a second viewing, and I've still enjoyed it, but yeah, I just get a bit more out of it in the
think it
first
helps.
viewing. Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Michael?
I was gonna say, for me, Oppenheimer, there was a lot of parts I didn't really understand because I'm not a science guy, and that's what really.
Well, yeah, none of us came out of it knowing how to make an atomic
Yeah, I don't
bomb.
think most people that watched it were science.
You'd be
What about you
surprised.
guys?
My dad was really, really like getting on his atomic bomb as soon as I'm kidding. But yeah, Oppenheimer was probably a bit. It was still an amazing movie, and still Christopher Nolan knows how to direct a powerful scene, especially that one in the I think it was like the courtroom or something. It was like not the courtroom. I forgot what room it was, but it was like a conference, and then he just feels guilty walking out. That was one of the best scenes I've seen this year.
Yep.
But it just didn't really resonate. Spoiler alert for my list, not in my top 5.
Damn.
Nathan's about to throw hands.
Where is it on your list? Because Michael has actually made a full list of the films that he's watched this year, so I am interested to know where is it on your full list.
25th.
If it's over 10,
It's 10th.
Oh, okay. Saved by the Bell.
And it was 9th.
Luca looks
before.
disgusted.
You almost hit.
No, I'm not
Zoe in the
discussing.
face
I
with
would just
Mike.
like to know. Can you just what's above Oppenheimer? Like what's
What's
right
your
above
Yeah,
ninth
can we
film?
Oppenheimer?
Yeah, what's the one film that you've put above Oppenheimer?
Can we just hear his whole list? Like from
Yeah.
10 to 1.
Do you want me to say 32 to 1?
No.
No.
I just want to hear what you placed above. Right above
Just the one
Oppenheimer.
film. Yeah, just tell us what you
beat
put ninth.
Oppenheimer.
Barbie.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough.
I haven't seen it.
Barbenheimer.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
I
feel
was
like
surprised they were next to each other.
yeah.
Sorry, can you what?
can I say something about Barbie?
Sorry,
mentioning-
Luca and Zoe are sharing a mic
Yeah,
at the minute.
Sorry about that. Barbie, from a female perspective, because that's what the film was. So I'm not trying to be like that, but I'm just saying.
No, that's
I
fine.
think it was a good film. Did it live up to what I was hoping to see? Maybe not.
What were you hoping to see though?
Well,
Because I think the concept of doing a Barbie movie in the first place
Was
was
great.
quite weird. Like I was interested on how they would approach it, because if they were doing it live action, you weren't just gonna have Margot Robbie walking around for like an hour and a half. Just
Yeah, I think I liked the concept of the whole, like, sorry, this is going to get very feminist, I'm very apologetic about that. I'm not apologetic. Anyway, but I think the concept of the whole, what Barbie was originally created for, and, like, how it ended up not doing its original purpose of, like, empowering women was good. I think the bit about the whole Ken taking over Barbie's world was just a bit like...
Oh, that was funny.
It was funny, but, like, did it give them... We know that. Like, do you know what I mean? We know that's what happens. And,
I
like,
think-
give us something that we want to... I don't know. I like the ending. That was really empowering. But the whole film, I don't know if...
I think there's definitely something we should go further into.
Yeah, I
Potentially
think
even next week or the week after, because I'd actually quite like to do a further
I could probably
episode
talk
on
quite a
this.
bit about Barbie, not because it's like, oh my god, Barbie, but like just the whole like
We could do-
concepts
we could do
behind
Barbie.
it.
Yeah, no,
I'll
we
watch
will
it for that
definitely
episode.
revisit this
When
within
you
the
went
next
into the
couple of
movie,
weeks.
do you think your expectations were different because you'd watched the previous kind of animated Barbie movies? Were you expecting it to be more like that rather than a more
No,
social?
No, because I knew
What's
knew
going on
it's-
to the BCU.
I knew it was going to be like a feminist film.
Okay.
I think the whole concept of like Ken taking over Barbie's Mojo Dojo was like, okay, yeah, we know that. You're just relaying what happens in society to us.
Mm.
And then at the end it was like, this is what it's be like to be a woman. Yeah, I know that. Give me something to like go. Do you know what I mean? It was like telling me stuff I already knew as a woman. Maybe from a
Mm.
male's perspective it would have been a better, a more resonated watch. But like as a woman, it was like, I know this stuff. Tell me something else. Do you know what I mean?
That's fair.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're saying it might have been trying to like tell the men that that's what they're doing.
Yeah, which is a good thing.
So even
Not a
though it
bad
was supposed to
thing.
be like a powerful women film, you still feel it was more of a message for the men than just
Yeah, which isn't a bad thing. Like,
yeah.
slay.
Yeah.
And one more point I will point out is, I could go into a lot, but I'll shut up in a sec. Is I'm Just Ken winning and Ryan Gosling winning Ken for the Barbie film speaks
But
for itself.
then the women, both Greta Gerwig and
Didn't get a
Margot Robbie, not
nomination.
getting a nomination.
That's all I'm gonna say.
volumes.
That's all I'm gonna
Well,
say.
we'll
film
get
did
into
get
it more.
nominated
We
for
will
Best
get into it
Picture.
more
Best
next
Picture.
So I
week.
will
I'm
shut
just
up.
saying it did get nominated for Best Picture as well, so it's not totally. But yeah, it is getting some. Anyway,
Yeah.
we'll move on.
But
Nathan,
We will
No,
move
wait.
on.
number 5.
Just to clarify, we will do an episode on this. Maybe not next week, but maybe probably the week after.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, the week Zoe's here. My number 5 film was Saltburn, which is
on the dance floor.
probably not controversial, but might be thought of as weird at first, considering the imagery within that film.
I mean, your
However-
expectations were like so worried about the movie.
Yeah, so my expectations of the film, I think, were warped before I saw it, admittedly, because I'd been told by a lot of people, if you haven't watched Saltburn, I'm not really going to get into the not graphic scenes
juicy
of it.
bits.
Yeah, but the juicy bits.
And
But
those fun-loving
essentially,
scenes.
like before seeing Saltburn, I'd been told, "Oh, watch out for the bathtub scene. Watch out for the graveyard scene." Like it was warping. It warped my how I was going into it. We
You
watched
thought
it,
some really weird shit was gonna go down.
Yeah.
But really, it was just some like. It
but
was just the occasional weird shit.
yeah, but we watched it a couple of days ago, and I have to say, I think the film was really clever. That graveyard scene actually kind of fascinated me in a bit, in a way, in the sense of I think I also found out after watching that film that that scene was improvised, and I think that is one for the way that the story goes. I think that is one of the most both inappropriate looking but also appropriate additions to a film in quite a while. I just think it works really, really well for the story, and I think the some of the cinematography in that film is brilliant as well. Like during the party, some of the like
In the
lighting
maze.
and the silhouetting in the maze, like it's probably in my top 5 for three reasons. One, its cinematography I think was just really good, especially in terms of lighting. I think Barry Keoghan gave a absolutely brilliant performance.
Who did he play?
Who did he play?
Barry Keoghan. Yeah, I don't
Played
remember
the
the
main
actor's
guy. He
name.
played Oliver Quick.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't know all the actors' names.
Yeah.
Tell me the characters'
What
names.
year was
Sure, but-
Saltburn set in? Like, is it like
2009.
2006, 2006, 2003, 3, because it
No.
says
How
do
class
you know
of
that?
2003.
It says
Yeah, I
class of
did say that,
2009.
yeah.
It says class of 2000. It's either 2003 or 6. There's a banner that goes up saying class of 2003. or
Oh, okay.
I think it's 3 now. Lucas
Okay.
said it.
Well,
Yeah, but I was born in 2003, so I would have pointed that out. I've been like, "Yo, my year," or something like that, or I just would have remembered.
No,
as
you're a baby at that
2003
time.
member? I did not do
No,
that
no,
when
but, like,
watching
I
the
would've,
intro to
like remembered
Saltburn.
that because it was just like related.
but yeah, I think that film was just really, and the twist at the end as well. Like we were kind of building to it anyway. I was half surprised, half
That's right,
not.
first time.
But I just think it had great execution. The half storyline with like the stones for each family member being thrown into the river as well, and then you see that spoiler at the end. And then at the very end, you see all of them like lined up, and it's like his
Yeah,
trophies.
It's like he's got. It's
It's
basically
like-
he's got them right where he wants them.
Exactly, it's-
That's what it
It is
symbolizes.
sick, but
Mm.
in a
In a
cool
sick
way. Yeah, it's sick, but it's sick.
Mm.
Yeah, that's my point.
Should we move on to our number 4s?
Yeah, number 4s. Does someone else want to do their number 4 first, or just keep going in the same order?
I don't mind saying my 4 first.
Go
unless
for your
someone
Go on
wants-
then, Michael.
All right, my number 4. I'm just checking. It was definitely my number 4. Yep, was Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
I can't comment on this. I didn't see it.
Why was it
So-
your number 4 and not your number?
Well, it's not my number 2 because I have 3 films that are better than. Sorry, 2 films that are better than it.
You know, I remember your
Um,
like upper list.
But yeah, I think it's one of Tom Cruise's better performances. I mean, one of my favorite films in 2022 was my favorite film in
Did you say
2022
part
was
one
Top
or
Gun.
Part 2?
Part 1.
Part 1. Part 2's
Part 2's not out yet.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I thought Part 2 was actually coming out this year, but it's actually coming out in 2025. I just learned 2 weeks ago. The only thing I say that was not great about that film is like it didn't leave me craving the second part.
Really?
And I just thought like, oh well, they got away with it. They're just gonna have to do the same mission, but again, it's not like this person did this person did that. And
Yeah, so
like,
I
this is
haven't
something that
seen
needs
it.
to be
Did it
tied
not
up.
leave much of a cliffhanger then, or?
It's not a cliffhanger. It's a complete story, but there's another mission to go on. Its
Oh,
mission
I-
is complete.
Basically, they
It's
started
not impossible.
pretty much where they left off.
Yeah.
what's not possible?
No, the mission was possible because they completed it.
Mission Impossible.
But
I mean, you did have to jump off a cliff to do it.
Can
I
I
mean, that's-
say, when did you watch the other Mission Impossibles for the first time?
like the other ones.
Yeah.
So I haven't watched actually all of them. I think I'm still missing.
When did you first discover the world of
2012 probably.
Yeah, I think that's the difference of that is that I discovered it all 2023. So I think maybe that's why I enjoyed the part 1 more, because I was in like a binge watching
You're
era
in the
of like
mood.
Mission Impossible. So
That's
maybe
fair.
that's why.
So have you watched all of them actually?
Yeah.
So maybe you
I'm
have
missing
got different
2, I
views
think.
of it then.
I've seen 4. The first one I saw was 4 because I forgot what year it came out.
Order as well, yeah.
Yeah,
That does make me think of like what's the difference between people who watch films over time and those who binge watch it. Because like I've watched all of the Fast and Furious movies over the years, and the last 3 that have come out, I've been quite disappointed by. However, I've spoken to another friend who binge watched all of them, either this part of last year and this year, and they loved it more.
I think that's also the thing of like getting almost hyped for it. Like when you're in the mode of watching something, you get over sort of like hyped for it. You're coming up to the end ones. You're just enjoying the whole franchise. It sort of inflates your feelings. Whereas if you watch it over the years, you're going into it with more of like an objective perspective of the movie. Like with the Mission Impossible one, I felt as though it wasn't as tense as the ones before it. Like I remember one of them, like they were really on the time. Like it was, all the other ones you were focused on time. The time was ticking down. This one, it was like just there wasn't a really time limit.
There wasn't actually. I mean, oh yeah, another thing I really like it's all about AI and like the modernization and like fear of AI.
When watching that film.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the main
to me.
the main entity is about AI and like how
Do you think it was a person?
Wait, what film are we talking about?
Okay, so you know, like
Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
Part 1.
What part of that is AI?
the thing they were trying to get.
No, the enemy was AI, not
Yeah.
not any element of the
Yeah,
film
the
was AI.
enemy.
About it, and
Yeah,
I
the
was
enemy was an AI, and then the AI hired a guy.
Zoe's just
yeah.
discovered she watched a different film.
No.
But the cliff scene was amazing. Of course Tom Cruise does his own stunts. I don't know how he does it.
Such a badass.
Like- What?
No, that's a different movie.
Yeah.
No.
Zoe has not seen the
He
movie.
was-
I have,
I think
because
he had
they're on
like
the
a cameo
train.
in it, didn't he?
They're
There
on
was
the
a train, but
See,
there's-
I'm not going to give too much.
No,
but
no.
Was there someone jumping off
A cliff.
a cliff using a
Yes,
motorbike?
yes.
Okay, she has watched
Okay,
the
yeah.
film. Also Haley
I was
Atwell.
worried there.
Haley Atwell gives a really good performance in that as well. Oh God, what's her name? Pommy Clef. Whoever plays Mantis.
Oh, just say Pom for now. Yeah.
All right, Pom. She was really good in the film. Like she didn't say much in the film, but her like presence was really, really felt.
I might butcher this. It's Pom Clementieff.
Plum Clementieff. And I think also the guy from Saw, Carrie L with something like that. I think that's him. Was in it as well, and I really like him as an actor because of the first Saw film. I'm a really big fan of that. But yeah, I really enjoyed the movie overall. The action scenes were amazing. Even though I think it was a pretty long film, I never really got bored. There was always something happening and something going on. But yeah, the only real downside wasn't leaving me really crave that part 2 that's coming out in 2025 now.
Fair enough. Yeah. Ethan, do you want to discuss your full film?
My fourth film. I'd say Napoleon.
Ooh.
Yeah, see, I actually like Napoleon. It focused more on the man rather than the emperor, the big war guy. We've got enough movies of men that are just like dominating a war, that are just big conquerors. We've got loads of them, but it focused on him as like this odd person. Because let's be honest, usually most powerful people are a bit odd. I mean, look at Henry VIII. He had 6 wives and beheaded half of them.
And there's a musical about that now.
Yeah, there you go.
6. Sorry.
Yeah, but no. So I liked it because it focused on the person. It's a different perspective on what these.
I
movies
like
should
how it
focus on.
focused more on the, like you say, the Empress as well. Like I really liked Vanessa Kirby's performance in that film as well. I think it worked really well to sort of show both sides of the man. Yeah, I think that was really effective.
Yeah, but I
as
think
well.
the movie could have done with like an extra like half an hour, and we have more sort of scenes of him actually in the war as well. Because I would have liked to see that. Like his,
Another half hour. How long? It was a long
it was a
film,
2-hour
wasn't it?
movie.
It was a.
I haven't seen the film, so I can't comment.
You
on
haven't
it.
seen
just-
Napoleon.
I just
No,
felt
it's a
like they
film that,
missed
like,
things out.
I didn't really get around to watching actually in the end. I mean, it came out in November. I'm wondering what I was actually.
It's a
working
2-hour
on.
38 movie already. You think it should have been 3 hours?
Well, and I just feel like they missed things out. Like they could have maybe cut back on some things, but I just feel like some things could have been added.
3-hour films are never really justified too much, to be honest to me. Apart from unless they have so much to go on about.
Yeah.
I think if you need to make a 3-hour film, you split it into 2 and add more to each of them.
Yeah, that's
Makes
true.
both odds. More money for the company.
I just want to say quickly, Napoleon was also my number 4 film. So
okay.
I won't bother going into it more. We might as well just go to Zoe. No, because I'd actually forgotten about it. Because Ethan just said about Napoleon. I originally had
make your lists.
I changed my list.
Yeah.
I changed my list right now.
Just this moment.
Yeah, my original number 4 film was Hunger Games. However, now looking at my list, actually no, I think this is better.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah, no, I'm sticking with Napoleon in my 4th spot. So
Okay.
Zoe, if you want to say your number 4.
Number 4, this is a category one. Film I discovered, Deadpool. Black Mirror is a TV series, a new season that came out. And I did
You
put...
can't have 3 things
but
in your
it's
number
hard.
4
I can't.
spot.
Okay, no, I did put Saw X, but I would actually get rid of that. If I had to pick from 2023, I would pick Black Mirror.
Michael's devastated.
But
No, because I
I
absolutely.
discovered
It's
I
not,
would pick Deadpool.
it's not my top 5, but I absolutely love Saw X because it's a Saw film that they finally knew how to do right.
Yeah, I think
but
I'd take it out. I'd take it out of my.
It's not in my top 5. So
No,
yeah.
no, yeah, I took it out. But yeah, that was that.
Fair enough.
You
I've
wanna?
never actually seen the whole of Black Mirror. I've only ever seen like little
So
bits and
good,
bobs.
So good.
So
I've
this
only
was
seen 2 episodes.
this is obviously Black Mirror, the TV show. This was season 6?
Yeah.
7,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Season
Yeah,
6 or
there's a
7?
lot.
Why is it in your top?
It was so good. Period.
A bit more.
It was I think they did. I think it's really hard to do a plot twist in films like not Black Mirror essentially, but I think plot twists are hard, especially in Black Mirror because you know it's coming.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the name of the episode. But they just did it really bloody well. It just caught me very off guard, and it was probably my favourite episode out of the entire series.
So British. They did it really bloody well.
But yeah, like
My
I just
golly.
think you have to see it to like get it. But I think Black Mirror, you know a plot twist is coming, so maybe it's harder to do a plot twist. But that episode did it really well.
Luca Vianney, do you want to weigh in on your number 4?
Yeah. So I'll quickly mention my number 5.
Did you not do your number 5?
You didn't.
No,
Sorry,
but,
do your number
that's
5
fine.
and your number
He's
4.
not important.
You know what? You can do
So
your number
right,
3 first as well.
So I'll say I have got a TV show in here, so I'll say my top 5 would be No Hard Feelings, which was a sort of rom-com comedy. I thought it did it really well because it was not your traditional rom-com, and I think that really helped the movie. And
That was with Jennifer Lawrence, wasn't it?
yes,
Yes.
and I can't remember the name of the young guy actor.
Andrew Feldman.
There you go. But he was actually really, really good. And I think without him, I don't think it would have been as good. Like, I think they were both perfect to play alongside each other. And I just loved the restaurant scene where he sings Man-Eater. I mean, that's just
Brilliant.
ingrained in my mind. So yeah, that I'd say that was my number 5, almost tied with the Hunger Games, but I think it just beat it out.
Fair. And then your 4?
My 4 is a TV series,
That's fine.
and it's Gen V because I think it
Oh,
was
Ethan could talk to you about that as well.
incredible. Yeah, I think even maybe better than The Boys at some points.
No.
I
There
think
were
it
some
was-
scenes where it was a bit
I-
like.
I think so. I think The Boys is incredible, and I don't think anything could surpass it. But I think at times,
I feel like
series.
one reason why you may feel like it's better than The Boys at times is also because there's 3 seasons of The Boys, 1 season
Yeah.
of Gen V. So
it's difficult to weigh it up.
There's gonna be
Boys
more
is
than
more
one
diluted.
season.
oh yeah, I know, but for now, The Boys is more diluted with good bits, bad bits, middle bits. Gen V's.
But I mean,
the
The
only
Boys is
reason we
still
watched
aging
Gen
well.
V was because of The Boys. Like no one would have watched Gen V if it wasn't.
Yeah,
for
but
The
no one
Boys
would have watched The
before it.
Boys if it didn't get marketed. I mean, you could
Michael,
say
did
the
you
exact
did you not
same
like
thing.
Gen V?
No, I love Gen V,
Yeah.
but I just don't agree when people say it's better than The Boys because the character relationships in The Boys are just so much better.
But that's what I'm saying. that
Ooh,
we-
But you
like-
can't.
That's where I disagree. Actually, I think the characters on their own are really good, but I think the relationships between some of these characters were really well developed and very realistic.
It's quite
Sorry,
complex
just
as
quickly
well.
though, you
Yeah.
can't say that a show has lesser value just because it came from a different one. That's like saying Better Call Saul is bad just because it came from Breaking Bad originally.
I'm not saying it's bad.
Oh, okay.
I never said Gen V. I love Gen V.
Okay.
I love Gen V. I just don't agree when people say it's better than The Boys just after one season because The Boys has so much running on it. I do agree with Ethan's point. It's like
I think Better Call Saul's
Okay,
better
so
than
more
Breaking Bad.
drama.
I guess if I had to rank it because they are doing these seasons concurrently. So technically, this is like a season 4 of The Boys. I would have to say it's my favorite season of the thing as a whole.
Universe.
Yeah. So I
The
guess
Boys universe.
Yeah. So I guess the Boys universe, especially because it's
The
all
BCU.
it's all the same creators. So it's not like anyone else different was involved in it. So it is technically like it's involved with the same characters in the same world. So I guess it was a really good season 4 of The Boys. Basically,
I love the ending though.
so good.
Yeah,
So good, and I think it just sets up the next season perfectly. And I just think it will be a great sort of addition, to break it up and make sure that there's one thing of The Boys each year, so that they can space it out a
I
bit.
think it helped us expand on like actually understanding the sort of the world around these superheroes, because we understand there's a lot more of them, and that there are schools and that they are trying to live and that.
And I think it did what Sex Education couldn't do in the end, which was sort of portray realistic
Sex Education
teenagers.
was my biggest disappointment in terms of TV shows this year.
Both were trying to be ironic about teenagers, but I think Gen V actually did it well. And realistically, like if these kids did have
He said realistic
superpowers,
about 5 times. In this
Yeah,
sentence.
Hey, that's the name of our podcast.
well, I think that's something that makes it so good compared to like the MCU and stuff like that. I know they're trying to be serious about it, but this is what would actually genuinely happen if people had superpowers, and I think it was the most accurate representation of that.
There would be loads of corruption, loads of corruption in these worlds.
Okay, Zoe, do you want to? Oh,
Well, that's number 4.
yeah, no, give us your number 3 so that we don't accidentally miss you out.
Yeah.
Has he said
What's your number 3?
Why am I giving my number 3?
You're starting with it.
Because we're
Oh, okay,
starting
okay.
with you for number
Okay,
3.
okay.
You are
Well,
quite
I'll be
forgettable,
quick
so
with it
don't
then,
forget,
because everyone will sort of agree with this one. I put Guardians of the Galaxy at number 3. I mean, it was obviously going to be up there. I don't think it hit my number 2, because there were sort of better movies, but I think this movie was just, incredible. Rocket, incredible story. That's
so amazing.
I liked it, but I think they went over the top with the ending where the main character, Peter Quill, face was fucking imploding. Yeah, and then he just comes back out of space, which is minus a couple hundred degrees, warms himself up, and his face goes back to normal with a bit of bruise.
Was it one of you who I went to see Guardians
You went to
with?
see it with
Wasn't
me.
he?
I went to see it with you. Who
Yeah.
did you and me go and see it with?
Because
Because there was someone who I don't know if it was you.
It was our whole group.
Because I was sat next to someone and we both looked at each other and we said, if Peter dies from this, we're walking out the cinema.
Josh.
Because it was Josh, yeah. We said to each other, if he now dies from this, because it was quite a silly thing. It was my main criticism
I
of
think
the
the
film.
fact that no one died was crazy.
Yeah, they should have
Especially with how much
executed someone.
Yeah, with how much potential there was.
Sounds
like,
rude. I wanted Drax to die.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he was gonna.
Not
protecting the
not
kids,
because I
that
didn't
would've been
like
amazing.
him, just because I think it would have been a great legacy for that character. I know that
I feel uncomfortable.
sorry, what's his
that-
name? Who plays Drax?
Vin
Dave
Diesel.
Batista.
Stop Vin Diesel. That's Groot.
Diesel.
Dave
Oh,
Batista.
yeah.
Dave
Isn't it?
Batista is coming into his own at the minute. Like really wanting to be this. He's really trying to leave the wrestling game and like try and come also into acting. And he has said he doesn't want his legacy to just be, oh, he played that Drax guy.
It's
And I think
definitely
that's
not.
fair.
It's definitely not anymore.
Yeah, and I think a nice way for him to have separated himself from that as well, personally, would have been if
Died.
his character could have died off as well, because then it would have been a very good
Have an emotional
closing
death
the
as well.
book.
I think a lot of the cost is sort of done with it, but I feel uncomfortable that some of the characters are still alive and could potentially return, because I think it was such a good send off, and I think they were all
It was, yeah.
I think they were all in such a good place to actually like to leave the crew and like not come back to it, that I don't like the fact that it could potentially happen.
Well, the galaxy still needs its guardians.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
because
just wanted to say that.
Yeah.
they linked up Peter Quill and Namora. What I can't remember his name.
Gamora. He's thinking.
Yeah.
He was thinking of Gamora and what's her name?
Nebula.
Yeah, maybe,
Yeah, he put them both together.
Like they linked them up again a little bit. Like they sort of rekindled the relationship.
Which I
sort
think was incredibly done, because that could have gone so badly.
Yeah, but I think like that also brings it like that they're gonna try and bring them all back again for a whole another thing, and it's just I feel like we can be done with it as well.
Yeah.
I think so.
As a
Just get a
viewership.
new director to do new stylized movies in space with no sort of worries about, I don't know, keeping it the same as it was before. I think Guardians of the Galaxy is an experiment.
Talking about space movies, should I say my number 3?
Go for
You
it.
can say your number 3 if it's related, yeah. Go for it.
It's not related to that, but it's Rebel Moon.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
That is the new Snyder film, isn't it?
see,
Zack Snyder film?
Luca's horrified at that.
Yeah, Luca retorted. So are you not really feeling Rebel Moon?
I just didn't really. I didn't dig it.
Yeah,
That's-
it could have been better done, to be fair, especially the ending bit.
23%
Like,
on Rotten Tomatoes.
yeah, it could have been better done, but like I quite like the prospect of like I feel like it's got potential. That's why I like it. Like they could do something with it.
I mean, there's a Rebel Moon like part 2 coming out. He's already said this is part 1 of 2. So I'm wondering if this just did it have a slow start? Was the pacing off? I haven't seen it, so that's why I'm
Yeah.
asking you. Do you think maybe like the pacing needs to be improved? Maybe Luca, do you think the pacing needs to be improved and they're just waiting on part 2 to
It's
ramp it
just
up a bit? Or-
Something I can't relate to a Snyder film. I can't. It's just too difficult for me to get into it. I feel like sometimes too stylized. It's just too much, in a way.
Didn't he want it to be like a sort of at the beginning when he wrote it or came up with the idea? He wanted it to be a Star Wars thing.
I know, and I
then got
feel like it
rejected.
may be a little bit too derivative. I'm all for people using concepts and making their own thing, but I think there's a point at which it's just sort of copying and
Well, I mean, everything's copied. Let's be honest.
yeah, everything is. But I
No
think
matter
it
what
was.
you watch nowadays, it's kind of either been done,
Yeah.
something similar's happened.
But unless you're going to bring something new and something more interesting, I don't know if you should recreate. And it's a problem with a lot of movies now, with reboots and stuff. But if you enjoyed it, I mean, that's good. I mean, they spent a lot of money on it, and at least it paid off for someone.
One
It just
person.
didn't for
One
me.
guy.
Yeah.
One person. No, but yeah, it could have been improved. Like, I was a little bit disappointed with the ending,
Yeah.
like what they did with a certain person.
Does anyone else want to go for their third?
Zoe, do you want to go for
My
it?
third, well, I don't have to talk about it too much, was Mission Impossible Part 1.
Oh, okay. fair
So
enough.
I guess
So-
we've spoken about that, but that was.
Do you
my
want
number
to
three.
add any on it or just move
I
on?
just-
Or
Well, I feel like we've spoken about it a lot. I feel like for me it was just I binged it, so I enjoyed it a lot more. Like literally, I think me and Nathan literally just finished watching the
her
last
partner,
one.
Nathan.
Yeah, not
Nathan.
Nathan. We just finished watching it before we went to go and see Part 1. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but I guess there's not.
Never really tried binge watching an entire.
Bitch watching.
I said binge watching. That will be bleeped out.
Don't bleep it out.
Binge watching an entire film series before I'm actually going to see that. I should probably try that. But
Yeah.
anyway, should I go on to my third film?
Go for it.
So my third film is technically a 2022 film, but in the UK it came out in 2023.
We'll allow it.
So I am counting it. I don't care what any of you say. Its cinema release date was February 3rd, 2023. So that is a 2023 film
Yeah,
for me.
okay, go on.
All right, mate. Come on.
But it was Puss in Boots: The Last Wish,
I haven't seen that.
I completely forgot about that film.
and it is
This is now Zoe's top one.
top one. No,
It
but
was so
everything
funny.
about that film was amazing. Like, yeah, the comedy was great. The type of race to the finish movies I really like. The
Can I-
animation was
Yeah,
stellar. Sorry. yeah.
I wasn't the biggest fan of Shrek, and I hadn't seen. Are there any other Puss in Boots films?
Yeah,
There's one more. Yes.
Well, I haven't seen them. I was holding in the giggles so much during that film, but that's what I had to say.
Kind of ramped up a bit from the first one, wasn't it? Like the evil villain in the first one was an egg. It was Humpty Dumpty.
It was Humpty
In the
Dumpty,
second
yeah.
one, it was the literal personification of death.
It was, yeah,
Mm.
very big jump.
0 to
Well,
100.
and
I know we went from 0 to
and-
100
and
real
Jack
quick.
Horner, who was played by
John Mulaney.
John Mulaney. Thank you. And yeah, I just think the three types of villains in that movies were amazing, especially Death.
Yeah.
And they've perfectly filmed the panic attack scene, which not many films have been really able to do.
Especially a
you know,
kids' film.
especially in a kids
Yeah.
film. And I just absolutely loved the film. Animation was great. I've already said that though. Story was amazing. Didn't go on for too long. Sets up the future of the Shrek universe. And yeah, it was just thoroughly entertaining.
Fair enough.
Mm.
I will say my third now. You're either going to think this is well placed, or you might think it's a bit low. Across the Spider-Verse is my third. Yeah, I just fit the Across the Spider. No one's talking. Was that a good thing or a bad
I'm
thing?
not
Michael
a big
looks
fan.
disappointed.
Just talk. Explain it.
Okay, first of all, did you not like it then, or is it a lot higher on your list?
Yes,
It's
it is.
higher.
It's higher.
Okay. I just think the other two films that I've put were above it. One of them is a superhero movie. The other one is another film.
Okay, I already know your top two.
Yeah. But no, I think I've placed it quite well. It was a very, very good sequel to Into the Spider-Verse. I think it was definitely well worth the wait. The animation style in those films just cannot be matched. It's like there are such like little intricacies. Spider-Punk as well being animated and all these different styles, that kind of thing. It just looks brilliant. I think the story worked really, really well. I think there was a little bit of a pacing issue. Luca's contemplating. I think there was a little bit of a pacing issue.
Whatever you think.
At points. And I don't like how they did the ending. Because the reason I say there's a pacing issue is the only reason I say that is because I counted there were 4 instances where I thought this is where the film ends. And I don't like that. I think I should be, and I think it should either go one of two ways.
Same.
I think the ending should happen exactly when you expect it to, or it should catch you completely by surprise. But there was this build-up, and then it didn't happen. Build-up, it didn't happen. And that's why I'm saying there's a pacing issue. And that's why I've put it lower as well, because it was one of my main criticisms of the film.
I think the reason that I probably enjoyed it a little bit more then was because that going into it, I knew that it was going to be a 2-part movie. So I reckon...
Oh, I knew it was a 2-part movie.
Yeah, I just heard the disappointment of everyone at the end when it said to be continued. Yeah. And everyone was sort of, But I think those pacing issues, I think that is like a very fair assessment.
Yeah.
But I don't think it like hinders the movie to such a great point. I mean, I guess that's why it's so high up on your list. But
it doesn't hinder the movie. Again, on the second watch, it was fine. I'm basing my list mainly off my first watch of a film, like how I felt impacted by it on my first watch, and yeah, it just like I was just a bit confused on my first watch.
I think they should have marketed it as a 2-part movie.
Yeah, it just hindered my first watch.
They did.
But then they
this is
changed
my
it.
biggest complaint about the movie. Because like, why didn't they say it was a part 1? Everyone. They said it was a part 1.
Yeah, but they did
so
it's
many
not
times.
In the title, that's the
it's
thing.
not on the title, but doesn't need to be. Everyone knows it was a part 1.
But that's the thing.
It was my
because
biggest
they don't,
issue.
because
It was my biggest issue about the movie. People saying like, "Oh, it's not a complete movie." It is a complete movie, in my opinion.
It is a complete movie, but also
It's a
you're
part
going to
of a movie.
disappoint. It's like not marketing your movie as a musical. Some people
Wonka.
know. Yeah, some people know because they've read articles and stuff. But anyone who's just bought a ticket because they want to go with their family or friends or something, they are the general public who aren't going to know this.
Pretty sure there were trailers of them singing as well.
So, well, yeah, but still, there's, difference between those kind of things. And I think you should just market it as a 2-part movie if it is a 2-part
Yeah,
movie. They should have just kept it
Very
Across the
clear.
Spider-Verse Part 1.
That was the thing I really liked about it. It made me craving part 2 so much.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And
I
that's
just think it's
why I
disappointing.
think the only bad thing is about the studio not really being organized and them overworking their animators is what really let this down, because they said, "Oh yeah, we'll bring it out in actually 2 months." It's not going to be out in 2 months.
Wait, this is related to the whole not marketing it as a part 1, part 2. Do you think though? I feel like Spider-Man is you either like it's like Marmite, like you love it or you hate it. Like I don't
disagree.
Well,
I think some people are in the middle.
Yeah, but like, would you? But those people, I feel like they wouldn't go and see it maybe in the cinema necessarily. They might wait for it to come.
I'm a middleman and I went to see it in the
Okay,
cinema.
fair.
No, I
But
think
how-
it's very he's either like one of your favorite superheroes ever, or
Yeah.
you think he's very mid.
That's what I mean, and I think if what was I gonna say?
You're not going to agree, Michael, because he is one of your favorite.
Yeah, he is.
So,
he
but then there's my
is.
point: is you would have done loads of research about Spider-Man and
Yeah,
knowing
whereas
that
the
it was a
rest of
part
us-
1. So is it fair to go into that film and be like, I didn't know it was a part 1 if you've just seen it on a movie poster and
Yeah.
decided to go watch it.
Yeah,
That's a
maybe
very
maybe
fair
I am
point.
getting angry at people for not
No, but
being
I'm-
Spider-Man.
think
I know,
that's
I know.
Passionate.
is what
He's
I'm saying, I'm
passionate.
agreeing
I'm
with
passionate.
you.
You'll see where it is on my
Well,
ranking.
remember, without those idiots, you wouldn't get a part 2 because no money would be generated.
It would still be that would still be generated from the
I'd
fact.
Hey,
still go and see the part.
If they, no, I'm saying if they didn't see it,
And
yeah.
I think people get mad too quickly that there are like 5-year gaps between these movies without realizing how difficult it is to make these movies.
Well, it's like
It
I
is
was saying
annoying,
about
though, like-
Spider-Punk.
Advertise it a lot about the process of making it, but I don't think it even captures how difficult it is to make. Like,
It's
to make
very
these
complex, but the thing is that with all the money these movies are generating billions of pounds now.
These movies have the most amount of animators of any movies, and it still takes 5 years. That's the difficulty of. It's not a sustainable kind of thing. I reckon this third movie will be the last type that's this animated.
Even the directors have actually gone on record and said they're
Yeah,
tired.
yeah. I mean, they've done so many animated. They did the Lego movie, the Lego Batman movie. I mean, they've done so many of these animated movies. It's time for them to, do something a little bit
Yeah, but
easier.
we're gonna get more technology that's gonna speed up the animations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, while we're on animations, the thing I wanted to say is, I actually prefer the animation style of the first movie comparatively to the second one. I just felt it flowed nicer. I thought it was nicer to look at. The second one just seemed a bit more just ugly.
You mean what? Do you feel? I think
I liked
some,
the
I
drawing
think there were
style.
some frames were a little cluttered.
It just
If that's what you mean.
no,
I
it's-
think there were
it's-
the
it's to do with
occasional scene
drawing
where
style.
where it looked a little too full.
No, it's not the fault. It's like the drawing
That's
style of how
why
they drew the
why
characters
it
and
took so
how
long
the
to make.
drawing was animated.
They added so much to like single frames.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you reckon like Mumbattan, like the Spider-Man India, was
No. So it
too-
wasn't the fact
is
that
it
there
that
was
kind of
loads
thing,
of
or is
stuff.
it right?
It was to do like when you look at the people and you see how the
Yeah.
lines are drawn and everything,
Yeah.
and how all of it's drawn and how when it's animated the lines and everything move.
Yeah.
It was to do with that. In the first movie, when I was watching it, it felt nicer to look at, and I could you could see the drawing, and it felt like the drawing was moving like a flip book sort of thing. And the second one, it felt like it was just
I do think
I
I
don't know
do
how to
think some
describe
of
it.
like background characters. I think they looked a little bit softer in the first film.
I reckon
I would
that's
agree with that a
because
little
they were
bit.
trying to mix too many art styles together.
you reckon.
Yeah, well, because they had what was it like? They had like 8 or 12 different art styles or
Oh,
something.
really?
And so I reckon maybe that didn't pay off so much if you thought it looked a bit. Maybe I didn't notice it as much. But I think looking
If I
back
see
at it
again
now,
with someone, I
the
can
first
point it
movie
out
was
to
a
them.
bit smoother than this
Yeah.
one. I think they went even more stylized this time
Yeah.
because there's a lot of characters were even animated at different frame rates. So I reckon your brain doesn't.
Yeah, it
Shoot
might
that
be the
together.
frame rate, to be fair.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Well, we could go about this for a long
There-
time.
There is just one thing I really want to say, just a quick bit of trivia.
We've still got one a long
Sorry,
time.
I know. Sorry, just one quick bit of trivia. I think it's really cool that the Lego scene was animated by a 12-year-old.
Oh my god, I love that.
The
It was
Lego
really
I
cool.
absolutely love
Yeah,
that.
we
Lego
can
scene.
move on now, but I just thought where you see Lego Spider-Man talk to
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man 2099. Yeah, I think the
Can we
fact
get
that that
a
was
picture?
animated by a
We
kid
got an arm
is
of it.
just really good. Anyway, we
Why
can
don't
move.
just get kids to
Yeah.
animate the whole thing.
We can move
See what
on.
happens.
Has anyone not done their
we're not
number
here to
3?
promote child labour.
No, we've all done our number.
We've all done a number 3.
Cut
Should we
the cost.
switch up, Nathan? Do you want to start with your number 2?
I can start with my number 2. So, my number 2 has 2 films. Purely just because one of them is a film that actually came out this year. The other one is a film that I discovered this year. When I say discovered, I mean I'd heard of it. Obviously, the film's Good Will Hunting. I hadn't seen it before. I'm ashamed that I hadn't seen it before because I've always been
You
told
haven't
it's a
even
very,
seen
very
Indiana
good film.
Jones. You
I
haven't
haven't
seen
seen
half the
Indiana Jones
movies you
either.
should have watched.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I actually saw Good Will Hunting December last month. for the
Oh
first
well, there
time.
you go then. But no, I think Good Will Hunting, it just instantly became one of my comfort movies. I have a very, very, very small list of movies that I feel I could comfortably go back to easily once per month and not get bored of it. My top film in that list is Ratatouille.
Oh,
Uh,
I love Ratatouille.
is
Overrated.
Yeah,
but no, it just instantly became a comfort film. I think the way it dealt with mental health. I think Robin Williams' performance in it was just beautiful. Yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I just sat there smiling through the film for most of it, and also I think Ben Affleck did really good in it, and I know it was
That's the
it was
film that made
written
them
by Ben
career.
Affleck and Matt Damon as well. And yeah, like Michael just said, it's the film that made their career, and I can see why. it was really good. And then my second film, my number 2 film that came out this year was Guardians.
And we don't really need to go
which I don't
into
really
that.
need to talk about anymore. No, I've said what I need.
I mean,
wanna say
I'll
on that,
quickly
but-
pitch in. My number 2 is also Guardians
Oh, there you
because
go.
I don't think I've ever actually had a film that made me cry and laugh like 2 minutes later. I
Fair.
don't think I actually only cried my second time watching it, not my first time. Well, I mean, second time I was with my ex at the time, but and she makes me way more emotional than normal.
Oh.
Sorry.
Go on.
Oh, Michael.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the film. The music, which haven't seen if it's been nominated for the Oscars or not. Well, it's not original
Don't
actually.
think
No,
so,
it's never
no.
mind. It's not an original score.
No.
But yeah,
The only thing I will say about the Guardians score, sorry, just to go back on it, I think it has the weakest soundtrack.
actually maybe yeah, I agree.
Would you
But,
agree on
I
that?
mean-
Luca's
Yeah,
shaking his
it-
head. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it.
I think it's really put up by The Dog Days Are Over, but because that's the only one I'm thinking of right now.
Yeah.
But it still had a really really good soundtrack.
It
Oh,
does
I
have a
had No
good
Sleep Till
soundtrack.
Brooklyn.
I just think the incorporation of the music working to the scene in the first 2 films was just better done. I just think it was done better. But apart from that, yeah, no, it's like I say, it's still my second favourite film of last year. It was really, really good. I came out of it both, yeah, like you say, laughing, crying. It was great.
Mm.
A really good comeback for Marvel, in my opinion, as well, because I
The
feel like
only
a
comeback
few
from
of their
Marvel.
projects before that have been quite bad. I feel like
You mean like all of them?
yeah, I think with Disney Plus it was
The Secret Invasion, yeah.
yeah. Anyway, Ethan, you're number 2.
Okay, well, I'm going to just say my number 2 and number 1 because they've already been said.
Okay.
So,
You can do.
Saltburn and then
In which order? Saltburn's second.
first.
Saltburn's first.
I
Okay.
really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then
Do you have anything to add on it, or
Mission Impossible. What, add on Saltburn?
yeah?
Well, I feel like I went into it
Keep
from
it PG.
yeah, I went into it from the least worried point of view because everyone I hadn't heard about it until the day before.
Yeah,
So
that probably helps.
yeah, so I went into it thinking these guys probably just overly scared or something.
Yeah.
And when I was watching it, I was just really enjoying it. Like you could feel the story. You knew the stories. It really got you in depth with the characters. You learned about the characters. They're about their emotions, how they were sort of controlling themselves. You learned about the family, how they sort of lived their lives, and then you saw it all just suddenly start to come apart, and just how the family break down, the characters break down, and what they would do, and it just you got you more really good storytelling. I thought
Yeah.
really good scenes, like you said, cinematically.
Yeah.
And then Mission Impossible for number 2 because I just really enjoy the franchise, and I
Fair
just
enough.
I think
Are you a
I've really-
binger, or have you seen it over time
from the not the third one, but after that I've seen them as they come out.
as they've come out?
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why I rate it so high, maybe not because I did feel like lack of tension in there because it wasn't like against the time. It felt like it was too many. Wasn't as impossible as most of the others, but
The mission wasn't quite as impossible.
yeah,
Mission more possible than
the
than normal.
impossibility of it was
Last
over exaggerated, but because when you know the stunts are real, it gives you a greater
Yeah.
appreciation of the work gone into it by the
Yeah.
team.
That makes it seem impossible.
Yeah,
My favourite film of the year, Mission slightly more possible.
it just gives a greater like sort of you just appreciate it better. You know it's real. It's like the old James Bonds. You know the stunts are real and you just sort of see it better. But when you know it's CGI, you think, oh, this
Yeah.
is just crap.
I definitely prefer Mission Impossible films over James Bond.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think I do as well.
Yeah. Can I do an
Sorry?
honourable mention?
Your number 2.
My number 2 is
No.
Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Songbirds of Ballads and Snakes for the full title. Yeah, I really enjoyed that film. We again,
And the Songbirds. Sons and Snakes.
yeah.
You said the
Um,
Songbirds.
I don't remember the full name. Anyway, I really enjoyed that. I think again it was similar how you guys were saying about the whole marketing. People were pissed that it wasn't marketed as it wasn't a musical.
It was not a musical.
But there were songs in it. But I think yeah. But people were like pissed.
Wait, who thought it wasn't a musical?
Well, there were people. No, it wasn't a
No,
musical.
I had
but
music
she
in it.
sings in it.
Some of it played to it well. Some of it I
that's
think
what I was gonna
didn't.
say. I think they
Yeah, but most
played
things are music.
her hobby. Her hobby is singing. That is how she gets through hard times. For
Yeah.
clarification. I think they played that wrong. Like the first scene where she started singing, I got a bit of a secondhand embarrassment for her.
It's fair.
But I think it was a really good film. And I think in terms of okay, I actually won't go into this too much. But if you're comparing Barbie and Hunger Games did it better.
in terms of
like like women stuff. Like you know what I mean? If you're looking
empowerment.
yeah, that's
Empowerment,
it.
yeah.
Like I don't know why it just made me think of that. I think Hunger Games did it better than Barbie, but they're very different films. But that's what I liked about that film.
Nice. Luca Vianney, weigh in. Give us your number 2.
Well, firstly, I'd just like to really agree with that Hunger Games thing. I think I think that assessment of like the singing and stuff was like really good. I'll say my second favorite movie of the year was Oppenheimer, and
Yeah.
we've already spoken about that. But I'll just say I think it's one of his best. I think his movies are only getting better, maybe a little bit more confusing as well. Each movie's getting a little bit harder to
Oppenheimer's
understand.
movies or the director's movies?
Christopher Nolan.
Oppenheimer's
Christopher Nolan.
movies.
Yeah, Oppenheimer. Oh, yeah. Christopher Nolan movies. I think they're getting a little bit harder to understand, but I think they're just aging like.
I think I understood it better than bloody Tenet.
I
That's
did
true.
not.
I thought-
understand
I
Tenet.
love
I really
Tenet.
enjoyed Tenet.
I love Tenet.
Like
That's-
the reveal at the end. That
I think if you try not to understand it, you enjoy it more.
yeah. When
Yeah.
you try and overthink a movie, it's just
But yeah.
I did not understand Inception.
Inception was.
I
such a good
see.
movie.
I never understand when anyone says that. 'Cause
I
think
still haven't
it's
seen
his
Inception.
I think it's his easiest
Mate, you've
movie
never
to
seen it at this
understand.
point. If a spoiler comes along, it's your own damn fault.
I think
Oh,
it's the
okay.
easiest. It's just a dream,
Like karma.
and then you're going inside
a
another
dream.
dream, and then you're going inside
In a
another
dream.
dream.
In a dream.
It's a good concept.
Oh yeah, it's about
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do know it's about dreams.
Okay,
Yes.
I just want.
But anyway, Oppenheimer number 2.
All right. the big one.
I'm gonna still say my number 1 first, purely just because it leads on from Lucas.
Yeah,
Oppenheimer
yeah,
is
his
my
number two.
first.
Who's number 2?
No,
Maybe
it
not
was
said your number
Guardians.
two.
It was Guardians.
No, we both said it was
He
Guardians.
said it was Guardians, so I just pitched in.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm leading on from Luca now. Oppenheimer was my first. Main reason is so the build up to the atomic bomb going off. I genuinely felt my heart start throbbing,
Yeah, it's just.
which I've never ever experienced in a film before.
Do you see what I'm saying with my fear of that?
Yeah.
Do you? Yeah.
I genuinely felt my heart pounding. I was so excited that I could physically hear. It's like when you go to if you go to a concert and the speakers are really loud and you
Yeah.
can start feeling it move through your chest. That is the first time I've ever had that naturally happen to me purely from a film, and that alone
But then
was
I think the build up.
incredible.
I think you're exactly right. The build up was insane. But then don't you think, and I know they were going for realism here, but don't you think the explosion was just a little bit disappointing? I think it was silent for a bit too long to the point where I was.
The sound would travel faster.
Wasn't it like a real explosion with a bit of CGI?
I don't really. I think
The explosion was real.
Yeah, I know,
He
but
was
it's
very
very
adamant.
spiced up with CGI.
yeah,
I
he was
swear.
very adamant about the movie that he didn't want it to be a documentary and he didn't want it to be too realistic and he wanted it to be an artsy film. But then I think going for the realism of the explosion almost took me out. I think the silence was good, but it was too silent for too long.
It might have been a little too long.
Yeah.
I do find it really funny that people.
But that was when I felt my heart throb, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, but then
This
it was
build-up's
just a bit
good.
too long where it sort of ramped
I
down
was really
very
not
quickly.
expecting it. I was like saying, okay, is it now? Is it now? Is it now? Like
Mm.
it was a really good scene.
I also
but-
like that it's only like halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good, I
Yeah.
think. That
Sounds
they
like I
focused
really
on
need to
art
see
as
this
well.
movie.
Something I
Which is
need to
something
get out there.
else.
I found it really funny that viewers in Barbie could claim they could hear the explosion in the cinema next to them. I found that hilarious. But yeah.
But yeah, Oppenheimer is my first just because of the way it made me feel. I've never felt that level of impact from a film, and also I rewatched it on my own TV a couple months later, just didn't feel the same. So I think I'm basing it purely off of my
First cinema.
cinema
I think you have to go to the
experience.
cinema to see it.
Yeah.
Do you know
I saw it
what?
in
We
BFI
just
IMAX.
watched it at Christmas, and that was my second viewing, so it wasn't in the cinema.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, I guess we had like a sound bar with a big sort of subwoofer, so there was a lot of bass and stuff, so it's very
Okay,
cinema
yeah.
feeling. I think maybe the visuals you don't have to watch in the cinema, but I think the sound,
The sound
the score and
has
stuff,
to be in the cinema.
because I reckon if I watched it on my laptop or something, it wouldn't be the same.
That was it. This is me watching on my
As long as
TV,
it
normal
sounds
TV
right.
speakers.
Yeah. With being
Like-
so ironic with how you cannot hear what people are saying in the movie, but it still sounds incredible, like the score and everything, the build up.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah,
no,
I reckon you
it's
need
my
a
number one
cinematic
movie.
experience, but maybe, yeah, visually not. But it helps, for sure.
Yeah, it is my. When I say it's my number one movie, again, I've based my list off of my first viewing, and apart from Good Will Hunting, I've based it off my cinema experience of watching it, not otherwise. Oh, and Saltburn, but
Mm.
yeah.
Well, should I go on to mine?
Can do.
Mine's already been said. I think people know what it is. It's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I just loved how they played with different animation styles, like the scene where Captain Stacy is heartbroken by seeing, spoiler alert, his daughter is Spider-Man, and then physically making the painting droopy in the background was just amazing. Soundtrack was amazing. Do not know how it got snubbed at the Oscars, and Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny, did get nominated for a score that's been around for like 20 or 30 years.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think, yeah, it was just like my favorite movie this year. I saw it 3 times, and
You saw it 3 times.
3 times in the cinema.
I've seen
each
it
with a different
twice.
family
Once was
member.
in the cinema. One was on my TV.
I saw
Yeah.
Avengers Endgame 3 times, but that's just because I'm so popular and everyone wanted to see it with me.
Mm.
What was your? Oh, are you still talking about your number one?
No. Sorry, I was about to pass it on. Ethan
Yeah.
or Zoe, which one of you wants to go?
Go on.
I'll do an honorable mention.
Oh no, he's done his.
Yeah,
number one.
I'll do an
Did
honorable
he?
mention. So,
Yeah,
Five
Saltburn.
Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh no.
Bro, it was
Did
just
you just say Five Nights at Freddy's?
it was just nostalgic. It's not my number one, but it's just an honorable mention to the list. You know, it was nostalgic. It was just
I'll say
Not
it made me.
horror,
It
but-
made me smile.
yeah, like
Yeah.
you enjoyed the watch.
Smile.
Well, no, like it was. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with Ethan in the sense of like, not necessarily nostalgia, but definitely that level of, oh, cool. We're getting to see something that we grew up,
Yeah.
throwing our phone across the room because we were scared at 12 years old to now seeing it in real life.
Can wait for
Thinking it wasn't as scary.
you see the Flappy Bird movie now.
The
Real
Flappy
story
Bird
behind
movie.
Flappy Bird. Where did
Yeah.
the pipes come
Flappy
from?
Bird. Anyway, Zoe.
You said your number one. Oh, okay.
Lucas gonna go last.
I think I watched a lot of films this year, but not films that necessarily came out in 2023. My top, and you know how you said there are not many. I don't watch films more than once, many times,
Yeah.
if ever.
Okay.
Like I don't know if that's common, but New Mean Girls 2024. Fucking hell, that is a film I will rewatch
What even is Mean
100
Girls?
times.
That's not a 2023.
Yeah, but I don't.
We'll allow it. All
I
right.
don't think I have. I just couldn't top it, to be honest with you. Not even Across the Spider-Verse could top fucking Mean Girls. Have you never seen Mean Girls?
I don't even know what it is. I'm guessing it's girls that are mean, but
But it's like
Well, they're not exactly nice, are they?
it doesn't sound like they're gonna be
it's
nice.
just like your stereotypical popular
Bratty.
group bitches.
Coming of
Yeah.
age.
No, I wouldn't
No?
say it's coming of age. I think it's just life.
I haven't seen it.
the,
So
the typical "ooh, look at me, I'm amazing" sort of
Yeah, but that turned into a musical. Beautiful. I'm surprised you don't hear me. in
Again,
my room,
Hollywood doesn't
like,
want to market their
singing it.
movies
I sing
properly.
it all the time. I'm surprised you don't hear me. That's my number one. I don't think any of you are. like,
Well, Mr. Vianney, do you have a different number one, or is it one we've heard before?
Well, originally I was going to say it's Spider-Man, but
Oh,
Let's mix things up.
yeah, do you know what? I'm going to say my number ones are movies that I haven't watched yet, and I know that seems strange, but I just know that they are going to.
He
sort
was
of
so adamant
start
about
these.
us picking 5 movies. That
I
came
know,
out last
I know.
year, and now he's just ruining
know.
his whole.
I'm going to say
he's ruined the mold.
Maestro and Past Lives, I reckon will
Ooh.
surpass because of what I'm hearing as well from, hype and people that with like movies that I agree with, so I reckon they've got a similar taste. I reckon Past Lives will be my favourite, and my show will be right behind that.
I want to see Past Lives.
Yeah.
That's Anthony Hopkins talking about it's Anthony Hopkins playing the man who I can't remember his name.
You're thinking about a different movie.
What am I thinking of? I might be thinking of One Life.
Yes,
actually.
you're thinking of One Life.
Sorry,
No,
I'm
no,
thinking
I'm
of One Life.
Past Lives. It's directed by Celine Song, and it's just Well, I won't go into it all, but I just reckon it's going to be one of my favorites, and it's one of those movies that I'm waiting for the right moment to watch, and I think I should just watch it.
Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of One Life. That's just.
I'm going to say that's my favorite of the year, and I just know that it will be. But,
fair enough.
Yeah.
He's going to come out of
It's
it now, and he's
cold,
going to
yeah.
absolutely hate it.
Oh, gotta love
Right.
A24.
So that's everyone's list. I think we all had some pretty similar films. I think the main ones that were discussed by people that we hadn't all watched were maybe Mean Girls and No Hard Feelings as well. That was quite a nice one that derived from everyone else's
still haven't
list.
seen that.
That is our top 5 list of 2023.
But
Do we want to wrap up, or do we want to quickly go around and say our biggest disappointment of
I
2023?
definitely do.
Yeah, it's you, Nathan.
I definitely do.
Thanks, man. Love you.
Oh, bro.
My biggest disappointment was Ant-Man Quantumania.
Yeah, I agree with that because it was hyped up to be this big movie that starts off Phase 5 that shows Kang the Conqueror, and he was defeated by ants.
Yeah, he summed it up pretty well, to be honest. Luca's nodded his head as well, yeah.
Yeah, but you
Um,
also had Kang the Conqueror and Loki, who was this really nerdy.
I think the Kang in Loki is better than the one in Quantumania. I think the one in Quantumania, frankly, was not a joke. I still think Jonathan Major's performance was good. I just think the way he was written was just questionable. This is supposed to be the hyping up of the next big bad.
like
This
to
is
say- I
supposed to
did
be
like-
the Thanos
Yeah.
What
level.
are they going to do
I mean-
with him now? Because obviously, Jonathan Majors can't play him.
Yeah, so there's
It's
no
a long
controversy around
topic,
Jonathan Majors
but
anyway.
I
but-
just hope that the rumors are right and they're recasting, and I cannot remember his name.
John Boyega.
No, they
Will
won
Smith.
I'd say that.
Coleman Domingo.
Oh,
who is in
yeah.
The Color
I'll have to
Purple
look
this
up
year.
his
Isn't he the guy
Yeah.
from The
He's
Walking Dead?
nominated for Oscar. Yes, and I think he is one of the most incredible actors, and I think he could bring reverence to
Anyway,
the
we
role.
have loads of time to get into an
Exactly.
MCU debate.
Oh,
I
this
just
guy.
hope
Um,
that they go with that.
Should I-
Ethan, do you have a
Episode
disappointment?
without me.
Disappointment. I still go with Indiana Jones as my like.
And was your fifth?
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's because I don't remember 5 movies that I knew this year that I watched. I googled the list and I was like, oh mate, I've only seen like 5 of these.
So there goes his top 5.
Yeah, because I was going with Lucas' thing of, oh yeah, we're only doing 5 new movies we've watched. And I was like, oh yeah, so I'll just stick with him, do his.
Well, you
do his
you
thing,
watch a
make
lot
him
of
happy.
movies, but they're just not necessarily
Yeah, I
2023
watch
films.
movies
But
from the
you watched a
50s,
lot of
70s,
movies that were
80s.
new to you last year. I know you did,
Yeah,
but
don't ask me to name any. I can't remember. Well, I see a movie. I based a book by the cover.
yeah.
Well, I technically have 3.
You're allowed
Wow.
one. You're allowed one. We're on a time
All right,
schedule.
well,
here, buddy.
Ant-Man just was one of them. Five Nights at Freddy's movie really
This is 2.
disappointed
Can we
me.
Put this out.
It was really disappointing. I said
really
3.
quickly. I think that is because it was based for a 12 years.
Yeah, I was expecting
So,
blood
I
and
think
stuff.
that's why.
But my easily biggest disappointment.
You wanted Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
My biggest disappointment, easily because of how much it was hyped up, was The Flash. I was getting really
Fair.
excited for The Flash.
Yeah, there's
And
a
then
reason
it
it was
was
on no
just-
one's list.
Really let down. Just really let down because they hyped up to be the best superhero movie since The Dark Knight. And it was just.
What happened? Like, what was
Right.
so bad? I haven't seen it. Like,
It's not bad. It's a good movie. It's just hyped up so much, and I was just
okay.
so
You expected
disappointed.
Too much of it.
I expected way too much, and that's how I think like not 7 billion people, like millions of people did also thought.
One film I wasn't disappointed, but maybe one film I thought I would enjoy more would probably be Barbie.
Oh,
Fair. Yeah, definitely now want to do a Barbie episode.
Whole
talking
episode
about
on Barbie.
We should
because you can now compare it to
Which
Hunger
Barbie
Games
are we
as
gonna
well.
do? Like you got a
The
whole
most recent one.
loads of them.
The others are very.
Can't we talk about the BCU as Michael said? Like,
Yeah, it wasn't a bad film. It was a really good film. But I thought I would enjoy it more.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
opinion.
We'll
Finally.
pass over to Luca Vianney.
Yeah, mine's a little bit like the same as Zoe. It was a good film, but it was a little bit disappointing to me, and it's Asteroid City. I just
Oh, the Wes
yeah.
Anderson film.
yeah, I expect better from him. I just think he's too Wes Anderson now. If that's
It's just
Too
I feel like he's so
yeah.
focused more on symmetry than story.
I think there's less humanity in his movies, like there was, you know.
Just to add on from that, sorry, just because that's reminded me, favourite short film of the year was The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, which was the 20-minute short film by Wes Anderson, starring Benedict Cumberbatch mainly.
I think
and,
he makes great stage
Richard
plays.
Ayoade.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. But no, that was a really good short film. But yeah, no, I would definitely agree. He's yeah, I don't really know how to discuss it. Really, we could talk about Wes. We can do a whole Wes Anderson episode as well. Maybe we'll do that at some point.
no, let's just
But,
do an episode on each
do you have
individual
a-
movie we've watched today.
What was your disappointment? Was Barbie?
Barbie. Yeah.
No, I didn't. I just don't really have one that was a full-on disappointment.
Fair enough. Okay. I think that's it for this episode. Does anyone have anything else they want to add?
Thanks for
Oh.
listening.
Worst movie of the year was Aquaman 2.
Worst what?
Worst movie of the year was Aquaman 2.
Oh,
There
fair
you
enough.
go.
Oh, that was Michael's 32nd movie on his list.
I could go about my
Michael already
list
had a
for
thought out
ages,
list.
but anyway.
We'll wrap up. Okay, so we've done our list now today. I want to thank you all very much for watching, listening.
I thought you were gonna
This
thank
is
us for
audio.
coming to the podcast.
Thank you, Ethan, for coming to the podcast
Thank
so
you,
much.
mate.
Really appreciate you giving us your
I wouldn't be
time.
here without that
Michael,
praise.
appreciate it. Zoe, Luca.
I really appreciate it.
So you can find this podcast in two places. You can find it on YouTube and Spotify. It'll be under Reelistic Podcast. That's real, REEL, like a film reel. Reelistic Podcast. Like I say, will be on Spotify and YouTube. YouTube will be audio only. This is completely just audio. Find us there. Come along. We'll see you soon. Bye, guys.
See you soon.